Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekly setups. So I'm going to be analyzing over 20 pairs using the fxalexg send and forget strategy, and let me show you what we have for this new week. Alright, coming over to my screen right now, you can see that the last trade we took last week was this trade right here on GBP AED. We actually held this trade since Monday, as you can see right here. You can see Monday, right? And then we held this trade all the way to Friday, but price did not end up getting to take profit. So again, I posted this trade on Telegram as usual, like I always do, right? And I kept on updating it even when we went into drawdown right here, right? And told you guys what my thought process is and why I continue to set and forget, right? And I finally closed, here, right? Because we don't have any other session, London session or New York session, to continue holding the trade. If not, we are supposed to set and forget this trade all the way to final TP, right? So that is the trade of last week. But this new week, we have new pairs to trade. Now, before you ask why I'm still trading, even in December, right? Despite the fact that price action is moving very slowly, there's not a lot of volume in the market and all these things. It's mostly because last December I actually made a lot of money, and I'm still trying to show up this December again as well. But that's not the only reason. Another reason is that the market is actually moving very slowly, right? It's very, very, very slow. And I'm just using December's slow price action to turn it into a positive, right? I'm trying to learn the patience that is required in trading, right? Usually I actually hold trade for like 2 to 3 days to 4 days. I don't really feel the pressure to close the trade, but once I start reaching 4 days, the emotion starts to kick in, right? So I need to be a little bit more patient. If I can hold trade for like 7 days without feeling anything, then I can literally beat any market in my own opinion, right? So I'm still trading in December just to train my patience to be a little bit more thicker than in this right now, right? So that's why I'm still trading in December, right? But the last 2 weeks of December, I might decide on what to do, right? And again, I'll update you guys on the Telegram as well. So let us see what we have for this new week, if we are going to have any good markets, right? So GBP AED, let's delete everything that we have here. Let's check the daily time frame, and the daily time frame is clearly bullish, right? Daily time frame is clearly bullish. Area of interest that we can find here is first off around here, right? And then we can have another area of interest down here, right? So what we'll be looking for is a retest back into this area for buys, or back down into this area for buys, because the market is bullish. But that is what the daily is telling us. Let's look at the weekly. I expect it to be bullish. So as you can see, weekly is now currently bullish too as well, right? And then the 4-hour is also bullish. So it actually makes sense to buy, but I'm still deciding if to add this pair for this week, because it doesn't have a lot of price action on this movement up here, right? I need price to be at least creating lower lows and lower highs, or higher highs and higher lows. Here, to me, just feels like one movement, right? I can't really predict where it will stop apart from this area of interest. So let's look at other markets, then we'll know what to do. GBP AED of last week, I'm still expecting price to get all the way down here, but since we're out of the market, we need to look for a new opportunity, right? So we delete everything that we have here, right? And the alerts. And let us see what we have. So let's look at the daily. All right, daily time frame is bearish from this overall bearish momentum, and even currently bearish right now, right? So we can't necessarily find an area of interest on the daily with what I'm saying, but I believe we'll find the area of interest on the 4-hour, right? So let's see how the weekly looks. Weekly also closed under a previous low, and the full price action is looking bearish too as well, and clearly under EME, by the way. So right, so that is a good sign. So let's look at the 4 hour. All right, 4 hour time frame right now. 4 hour time frame is also bearish, right? So we have all three time frame in sync, right? So this trade, this last week trade is right here. I marked it as a win, right, on the trading checklist, right, by alexg. This one right here, right? So that trade was actually, from my calculation, was actually a 140% chances of that to play out, based on the checklist, right? So this right here now, what I'm looking to see is a retracement back into this level for us to continue selling, right? I expect that to happen. A retracement back into this level to continue selling to the downside. So we might actually take GBP AED again this new week. So I mean, that's a good sign. So let's add it for this new week. I would like to see how the 1 hour looks, by the way. 1 hour. 1 hour is not so much, it's not so clean, right? But it could have, when you have that retracement, we'll know what to do. So we'll pay more attention to the cleanest price action, which is actually the 4 hour, right? And then we'll see how it plays out during the week. Next pair we have is USD JPY. Now USD JPY is expecting buys, but price did not have the break and retest above to buy, so we did not take the trade. So I was actually paying attention to two markets. Let's see what we are paying attention to. Just stick with me here, please. So we're paying attention to, I wanted to take two trades, but I decided to take one. All right, see them. It was GBP AED, which is the one we took, and then Euro GBP. So Euro GBP, where is it? Euro GBP hit SL, right? So we did not actually take this one. I decided to take GBP AED instead. So what made me not to take this trade? So let me just cover that, right? So if you watch the weekly setups of last week, I'll put a video attached to it. Just need a break and retest under Euro GBP to sell. I was actually looking, the original game plan was this one right here, right? Was a break and retest to sell, right? Coming into the new week, I started seeing buying opportunities, and that's when I changed my plan. So when I now had two trades to take, GBP, Euro GBP or GBP AUD, I was looking for the best one to take. So GBP AED was actually one of my pairs for the week, but Euro GBP was one of the pairs I was looking to just pay attention to for the week. It was not really one of the best pairs for the week, you understand? It was just one of the pairs that I might take this week. So that was one of the reasons I chose GBP AED. Plus GBP AED, it seems like Euro GBP, it seems like I changed my bias. So I didn't want to change my bias, and if I hit stop loss, then I'll blame myself again, right? So that's why I decided to choose GBP AED instead of Euro GBP, which, as you can see, eventually played out to perfection, right? So we avoided the loss, and we even took profit on GBP AED instead, right? So that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. So let's continue with the weekly setups, right? So USD JPY right now, this might be a good one. So let's delete what we have now. Let's go over to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is bullish, right? So this right here is the higher high, and this is the higher low, right? Now we can't necessarily get an area of interest here because price is has clearly been bullish all this while, right? But one thing we need to see here is that this right here, right, has had a deeper retracement, and this last 2 days was a doji and an engulfing with a doji too as well, somehow like that. So it's like two dojis, but the body closed above the high of this first doji, right, which makes it like an engulfing with some form of doji feeling, something like that. Then weekly time frame is also clearly bullish, right? But this last week was clearly very bearish. Now another thing that I just noticed right now is that if you come closer to this candle right here, you can see that this candle right here did not have a wick to the top, right, which makes it a Marabuzu candlestick, right, which makes this weekly candlestick a Marabuzu candlestick. And Marabuzu candlesticks we expect that it will create a new wick to the top, right? It will create a new wick to the top. So that is a sign that we might buy this market this week, right? Then 4-hour time frame on USD JPY, let us see. So 4-hour time frame is, all right, let's read the market together. So this right here was the higher high, right? And this was the higher low for that. So when we broke under, this became the new low, right? And then the high for that low is this one right here. And now that we break under again, this was the new low, and this is the high for that low, and we broke under again, low, high. So now that we are now above, it means that this is now the new higher high, and this is now the new higher low, which makes this market structure actually bullish right now, right? It makes USD JPY bullish. All right, so that's one information that we have here. All right, and since we cannot get a daily area of interest, it means we should look for at least a 4-hour area of interest to buy from. So what do we do? So this might be what I'm seeing here. So this is a minor 4-hour area of interest. From here, you can see that price kind of stalled from here, broke above, respected that area, came here, respected it to the downside, and right now, this area is not even that strong, even on the 4-hour, right? It's not that strong. So I'll just be paying very close attention to the market, but I believe the buy should probably start happening from here when we have a break and retest above this high. At least it will be above EMA by that time, right? At least it will be above EMA by that time. So this might be a much more safer trade to play, right? Again, we can also see some form of trend line here, right? So if we can have that trend line, so this trade right here is way more safer to buy from here than to buy from here, right? So this is, at least it has 3 taps from this area. So I mean, I like this trade. I'll add it for this week. CAD JPY next pair. CAD JPY, I was expecting to buy, but price shifted bearish and we're no longer interested. Right now, price is above, right? Price is now currently bullish right now. So which simply means we'll be waiting for a retracement to continue buying. Daily time frame clearly bullish. Weekly time frame should clearly be bullish. And 4-hour time frame, we should just look for an area of interest because it's also bullish, right? So this might just be the area of interest that we'll use. So we'll still be using the same game plan of the last time, right? We didn't get the opportunity this time, so we'll use it this new time, right? So that is that for CAD JPY. Might really happen this week? That's another question, because this right here is far. For price to come all the way down here, this is the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so it's still possible it might happen this week, but price needs to come all the way down here first and show us sign that it's going to buy from here before we actually buy. So that might still take a lot of time for that to form, right? So let's just keep it close. NZD JPY next pair. So let's see what we have. So NZD JPY, we're expecting a retracement back into this level to buy. Price just retraced a little bit and never really got to this level. So we can't really necessarily do anything with this market, right? Price is just basically at the higher high, right? I can't necessarily do anything with this market. Price is just basically at this high. We need price to be a bit, at least we need price to be at least this level for us to be interested in the market, right? So next pair, Euro USD. Euro USD was another pair I was looking to sell. So you see how taking one trade per week can just help you avoid a lot of losses. Euro USD, we didn't even get the opportunity to as well, by the way. I just remembered. So we are supposed to break under this level, have a break and retest to sell. We didn't get the opportunity, so we never really bought. Again, we avoided a lot of losses this past week. A lot of losses this past week. And we also won, by the way. So we still closed 2%, by the way, right? It's above 2%, but I just like to call it 2% because of fees will collect their own swap commission, all those things, right? So that's Euro USD um is currently bullish right now. So this was what I was talking about last week, right? I told you guys that the market might sell from here, but the thing I did not like was that this low did not break under this level right here, right? So this is supposed to create a new lower low, right? So this bearish momentum did not close under this low, which simply means that the buyers might actually be stronger, right? So now you can clearly see that the buyers now broke above this high, which simply makes this market structure bullish. If you cannot tell, you can just look at the EMA. You can see that that's actually shifted just bullish just now, right? So what we can expect from this bullish market now is to continue buying, right? Is for reasons to continue buying. So let's see how the weekly looks. The weekly um is bullish, right? The weekly time frame is bullish. So if you're looking at this as a high and this as a low, you can clearly see that price broke under this low and now it broke above this high again, making this market bullish, right? So that is daily, that is weekly time frame. Daily time frame is also bullish. You can also see that reversal patterns like a W, right? From the EME, you can also see it, right? It's very clear. If you're looking at trend line, you can also see it too as well, right? So you can clearly see that it broke above the trend line type shit, right? So the market structure is clearly bullish. 4-hour time frame on this market, the 4-hour time frame on this market is actually currently bearish right now, right? But we still need a deeper retracement back into this level to find what to do, right? So I will pay attention on this pair on the daily time frame because that is the time frame that is the cleanest, right? So I'll just keep it close. I'm not deciding to add it for this week yet, just yet. Euro GBP, next pair. So Euro GBP, again, we avoided a loss, right? We keep avoiding losses. Daily time frame right now is currently bearish, and at the time it was also bearish. So I don't know what I was looking for buy. So that's another reason I decided to not take Euro GBP when I was deciding between Euro GBP and GBP AUD. Right, the time frame was still bearish, so buying might be risky even if the entire momentum of the market was buying, right? So that was a little bit too risky. So I decided to trade what I already know instead of trying to force the market. 4-hour time frame. So let's delete everything here to see this market clearly. So 4-hour time frame, this market is not too clean to me, right? I don't really like this market personally. We have two taps here. This was just market stalling around here, so it's not necessarily like a tap, or maybe you can call this one. All right, so I mean this market is bearish, so you should be looking for sales, but I don't like this price action, right? I don't like this price action actually. So let's go to the next one. All right, GBP card. So I think we are looking for buys here, and I'm pretty sure it bought. Let's see. So GBP card daily time frame went bullish, went bearish, right? So you see this price action that actually just shift right now, like this right here is bullish, right? From here we expect a retracement to buy, right? So which actually did, but this right here shift bearish, shift bullish. I don't really necessarily like that kind of price action. So that's what's happening here. It broke above this high, clearly bullish. Now it shifted bearish again, right? So I don't need price shifting bullish and bearish up and down. Just choose one direction to find, so that we'll find where to just join, So I'm not interested in GBP card. AED card. AED card daily time frame is by the way, let's see. It's currently bullish, right? So this is the higher high and this is the higher low, right? So that is a high, so it's bullish. Weekly time frame. Wow, last week price traded all the way up here and then closed all the way down here. Some form of liquidity grab or something, you know. I don't like that, right? First of all, then 4 hour time frame. It's actually currently bearish. So I don't, do we have two time frame in sync? Let's see. Weekly is what? Weekly is bullish. Daily is bullish. So we have two time frame in sync. So the best thing to do with this market is actually to look for buys. And the area of interest you can see here might be this one right here. You can just use this as the area of interest. It's a tight one because I'm thinking too much. I don't like markets where I have to force the market, right? But this market could actually buy, get the opportunity, maybe on the 1 hour time frame, have some form of the momentum coming into the area of interest is too much. Still need price to slow down very well, you know, and probably have the move around here, which is Wednesday, December 10th, right around here, where EMA will come. If price is slowing down, then the EMA will also slow down a little bit. Then maybe by Wednesday, as you can clearly see, it will start shifting structure to bullish again. So around Wednesday, you should be expecting that trade, which means this market cannot necessarily buy from here right now. If it's buying from here, we will not be interested in this market. So I don't need to add this pair for this week. Let's see which time frame was I looking at. Daily time frame. So we still need daily time frame to probably have like a doji or something. Have a very slow down, just like this one right here, like these two right here. Have a slow down, have a shift of structure again to the upside, not on the daily time frame, on the 1 hour time frame. Have a shift of structure to the upside for us to buy. So this market is good for buys, but it's not ready now. It's at area of interest, yes. It's bullish, yes, but we can't necessarily just buy right now, right? So I don't like it just yet. Let's go to another pair, USD card. Man, this is Friday. This is Friday. This last Friday went crazy on USD card, right? So people telling me that you don't enter on Fridays, well, I understand why, because you don't expect your take profit to get hit that same day, but man, you just miss this. So let's see, this market structure is clearly bearish right now. As you can clearly see, weekly time frame is bearish as well, by the way, because this right here is the higher high, and the higher low for that is this right here. So it means this market is bearish. Then 4 hour time frame should also be bearish. So and it seems like we have an arrow here, so we are actually planning on selling this market. As you can clearly see, as you can see, I've not deleted anything yet, so now I'm deleting so that we can see the market a little bit more clearer. So let us look closely. Seems like we had some form of head and shoulders. So why didn't I take this market? I'm trying to remember why, or maybe I didn't add this for last week. Anyway, so this is what I'm seeing right now, right? This is what I'm seeing right now. We need a retracement back into this level right here, like here, which I've respected this area a little bit. This is the daily time frame, by the way. So it still took price, even if this might be looking like a small area of interest, it actually still took price about 40 days to create this area of interest, right? It still took price about 40 days to create this area of interest. So it's still strong enough, by the way, right? So a retracement back into this level will be good for sales, but I don't think it's going to happen this week, right? Price has a lot of movement to do. He has to come into this area and tell us reason and have a shift of structure and tell us reason on why we can take the trade to the downside. So USD card, not interested for this week, but it could play out, right? So by the way, let me put the new arrow, by the way. So I'm looking for price to get into here to sell. AUD JPY, next pair. So clearly we already have an idea that we might actually buy this market. Wow, and the market has just been buying pretty much this last back to back for the past. So let's measure how long. Price has actually been buying since it shifted structure to this upside, right? So from here, after the retracement, price has been buying. Price has been buying for 195 days. Continuous buying for 195 days. From the EME, you can clearly see that movement, right? Okay. So that's one information we have. Then weekly time frame is also clearly bullish, right? Weekly time frame is also clearly bullish. Broke above these highs. Okay, very good. Then 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame is also bullish, right? The only place to enter this market is actually right here, right around this price point, right? Because this right here is just like a normal break retest to buy. But I don't think we can get any area of interest. We only have like one tap here, right? So it's just a high risk trade. There's no reason for me to actually take this trade. If I'm going to be taking this trade, it's just going to be from here. But I don't think I'm going to be taking this trade even in December, for example, right? So I'm not interested in AED but I believe you could buy. Euro AED again looks like I caught a sell from this level, and you can clearly see that I sold. Right, so right now it seems like we're breaking below this level right here. Right, seems like we're breaking below this level. Right, so let's delete this first area and delete this arrow. So let us see what we have again. So daily time frame is clearly bearish right now because we just closed below that level, right? So that's very good. That's very good. Now weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, you can call this bullish with this price action, but I don't want to do that. I want current price data to see what we have. So if I'm calling this bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish again, bearish, right? So I can still call weekly bearish, but the real thing is actually that here is actually the higher high and here is the higher low. So should we just call it bullish? Let's just call it weekly bullish, right? Let's just call weekly bullish. Then daily is actually bearish. So we need the forward to actually be bearish too as well for us to actually sell, right? So the forward, you can already tell that it's going to be bearish, right? So it's clearly bearish. So what we need is a retracement back into that level to sell, right? So we need a retracement back into here to sell. All right, let's see how the 1 hour looks. This trade might be a tight one. This trade might be a tight one because the cleanest price action is actually the daily time frame, right? I still need entry time frame to be very clean for me to actually be interested, right? Because if you have a retracement back into this level right now, it's still not going to feel like a break and retest. It's just going to be like a V. And if price have a retracement back into this level like this, price will now currently be above EMA again. Do you understand? So we still need like another break and retest again when price gets to here instead of calling this a break. Do you understand? I don't think you guys will understand what I'm talking about, right? So that's why again join the Telegram. I'll update you guys there. The link is right here, right? Just come here, click the link. You see the Telegram link here, right? So that's just it, right? But we'll just have to look at how the daily looks first. Until daily gets here, then we'll know how to sell, where and how to enter, because entering is also very important. Because if you enter anywhere just because price is there, then you might not like get the best stop loss possible. You need to protect your money as much as possible, right? So that's why even if the market is clean, I still have to look for a best points to enter so that I can enter possibly with no drawdown. But if drawdown is there, we just keep the stop loss in a safe zone where we don't expect price to get to. If it gets there, then it means we are just totally wrong with the market, right? So that is that for Euro AUD. So let's just keep it close. Let's just keep it close. NZD card is the next pair. All right, NZD card looks like we are looking for a buy here, but this was not in any of the weekly setups, right? Because this right here, markets just shifted bullish. We still need market to shift to clearly shift bullish again, right? This right here might just, is not the best. Can you see how it shifted bullish and shifted bearish back, right? So I just know that it's not the best. What we need is a break above something like this. That's what we need. We need like a clear break above this high like this to call this market clearly bullish, right? Right. This right here, I don't trust it. I don't trust it because I've seen it before. It will shift bullish, then try to give you that opportunity to buy. Meanwhile, it just shifted bullish just now, shifted bullish again, and then it's now shifting bearish and using momentum coming into the area, right? So that's never a good sign. It's never a good sign. I've seen that before, right? So the best way to actually play this market is to wait for a break and retest above this level to buy. So let us analyze the market now and see. So the weekly, which by the way it has gotten its final take profit target, like what I was saying. If I see the video, I will attach it to this video again. If I see the video where I was calling this the final take profit target, right, of NZD card, I will attach it to this video again, right? I pray that this is not a scam by NZD card, because it's clearly supposed to be getting all the way down here, right? This is the final take profit target of NZD card. I think I posted this almost like a month ago or something, right? So as you can see, as price got to this final take profit target, it shifted structural bullish, right? So for us to continue buying, we still need price to shift to be clearly bullish, right? I don't need to be guessing if market is bullish or bearish. I need it to be clearly bullish for me to be interested in taking this market, right? So let me keep NZD card very close. GBP USD. GBP USD, you can see from this arrow right here is that I was calling sales from this level right here, right? Now I'm not necessarily sure if this is the level I was calling sales from or this level, but this right here, let's see if is a trade we would have avoided the loss from. So as you can see, when price got to area of interest the first time, here was now clearly the higher high, and this is the higher low, right? So we need price to break above that high, which it did here, and shift structure again to the downside. So we will need a deeper retracement like this to sell, which we never got, and price just pretty much breeze through the area of interest. So this will just be a loss avoided, again following the system. And someone like me, by the way, I will not be waiting for that retracement back into here to sell. It's still risky to me, by the way. I'll still be looking for a clean break like this, right? A clean break, so like a break like this, and then retracement and an engulfing to sell. So there's an engulfing, but if you look well, you can clearly see that engulfing is above the high, which simply means that this market structure is now clearly bullish from here, right? Then of course we will not enter this market, and this market will just pretty much breeze up. We actually need the engulfing, like this green candle. If this was the engulfing, then I would have actually sold this market, right? From EMA you can clearly see it was below EMA, right? Price was below EMA too as well. So as you can see that this engulfing was already above this high, it simply means that this market structure is actually bullish, right? As you can see from next candles, loss avoided, right? Loss avoided. So trying is not about knowing the strategy sometimes. Sometimes it's about just reading what market is actually doing right now, right? Reading what market is actually doing. So let us analyze the market. Let us see what we have. So okay. This market structure is what now? So it was bearish. I think it's still bear. This market structure, man, I'm not trading GBP USD this week. I believe that this market could come down and actually continue buying up, right? That's what I believe. But it also feels like the market is also bearish. So GBP USD, I'm not really interested in buying or selling GBP USD this new week, right? So let's see next pair that we have. I think I just deleted a pair. I'll go and look for it now. Alright, so GPPNZ is the next pair. GPPNZD. I don't even understand the price action. I believe this market could just have like some form of break and retest under to sell, but I can't really see it. Right, so next pair, please. GBP Okay, now GBP right? So I remember this pair. This is a pair that don't have any price action under here, right? So we can clearly see that we don't even have any price data right here, right? So let us see. Let me go to the weekly first. I want to check something. All right, so in the weekly time frame, you can clearly see this black line that I drew. I kept it there to always remember. So let's use this as area for now, right? Just stick with me here, right? So that is weekly area that have 1 tap, rejection, 2, 3 taps, right? So it's also a valid area of interest, right? This was the lowest point that price ever went, but it still closed around this point. Price came around that same price area and rejected up strongly. By the way, yes, you can clearly see rejected up strongly here, 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 and here, right? And now price is currently above that area, so I wasn't expecting price to actually trade below this area, but it did, right? But now that it is now above this area, we can now be interested in trading this price action, because this area price has basically not crossed that area since this level right here, which is over 1000 days ago, 1134 days ago, right? So that is one sign. Now daily time frame. Now looking at daily time frame, if you read the market structure, you can clearly see that we are bearish, bearish, right? And now we close above, making this market structure currently bullish. And now we have a cleaner price action right now, which means that this market structure is bullish. You can tell from the EMA2 as well. We just shifted bullish right now. From the weekly area of interest, we can see that we have a daily area of interest inside too as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 reaction from that area. So this area of interest was also recent, right? So as you can see, very clean area. Then let's look at how the 4-hour looks. And the 4 hours also clearly bullish. So the daily time frame is actually the cleanest. So what we look for is a retracement back into this level to buy, right? So I actually believe this one can actually play out. So I will add GBP for this week. NZD-USD is the next pair. So NZD-USD, the same thing I was talking about. Price did not necessarily get to here, but right now it's shifting bullish, right? So I don't trust this bullish momentum. I still need price to be clearly above area, which is right here. So we still need a cleaner break above here, right? This is not going to happen this week, by the way. So let's just go to another pair. That's not going to happen this week. GBP-NZD. GBP-NZD. Daily time frame. Daily time frame is actually bearish right now, right? Because of this low and this high. So I don't really like it. I don't really like GBP-NZD, especially for this week, by the way. So let me see. Let me just look at it for some time. I don't like GBP-NZD. Next pair, EUR-JPY. EUR-JPY daily time frame. All right, and no price action there. Right. Best thing to do is maybe a break and retest above this high to buy, or a break and retest below this low to sell. Right, so Euro JPY, break and retest above this high to buy, or break and retest below this low to sell. So that's what makes sense the most on this pair. So let me just keep it close. And GBP JPY, I'm not interested. So let me just look at the pairs I saw for this week again. So first pair, GBP AUD of last week, right? So we're selling this market, right? And now we are currently below a 4-hour area of interest, which means we need a retracement back into this level to sell, right? And the best place to actually sell to is actually this low right here, right? So let's also mark it. It's actually to this low right here. So I'll put the line here. So if you are selling this market and we target this low, it has to show us 1:2 at least before we even take the trade, right? So if we get a retracement back into this level on 1 hour time frame, we see what we need, and we put our risk reward ratio to, and we see up to 1:2, then we can take this trade, right? So I believe this trade could play out. So that is the first pair I'm waiting to see this week. USD JPY, I'm expecting it to buy, but I need a break and retest above here to buy, right? Here doesn't mean you cannot buy from here. It's just that, to me, it's still risky, right? It's still risky. Here is way more cleaner, right? If you have a break and retest here, it's way more cleaner to me, right? To me. So you can decide what you want to do, but this right here is a much more cleaner price action for me, right? So USD JPY, I'll be looking to buy once price is now above this area. So let me put my alert there. So that's that for USD JPY. GBP CHF, another good pair. So the daily time frame is actually the cleanest. This area of interest is one of the strongest area of interest that I've seen in a long time. It's a weekly and daily area of interest, right? Weekly and daily area of interest, round psychological level, I think. Is that round psychological level? Let's see. 6. Let me see, 500. Right, there's a round psychological level right there too as well, right? So I'll just like to use this price action, this line that I already drew, because I believe that line has a reason. As you can see, from that exact line, price rejected up. From that exact black line, rejected up from that exact black line. So instead of using round psychological level, I'll just use this price level right here, because clearly from price action, you see that price have reacted from that point multiple times, right? Even from current price data. So if I'm buying from this market, I still need my stop loss to be below that black line at least, right? To be sure I'm safe, right? So it's calculation, right? So let me look at gold, see what we have. So of course, gold daily time frame, man, we can't really be using daily time frame on gold, right? It's basically useless, because we already know that the full price action is going to be bullish, right? So let's look at the 4 hour and see. So 4 hour time frame, what do I think on gold? Okay, price action is still bullish. Price action is still bullish. This is difficult to find something. Okay, I'm not interested in gold, right? To me, it's still all over the place. Let me come closer, let me show you, let me see. It's still all over the place to me, right? So that is the pairs I'm willing to see this week. I was looking at other pairs, so let me see what I was looking at. Waiting for a break and retest above here to buy. Okay, Euro GBP, buy or sell, which might be cleaner on the 4 hour, I think. Okay, AED USD, CAD JPY, okay, Euro USD. Which time frame is this one? Goodbye. This is so hard to choose. Euro AED to sell. AED JPY. Okay, so we'll use this one. We might buy, we might buy or sell. We might buy and we might buy or sell. So I'll just make a shorter version of this video to explain what I'm just thinking just now. Right. So that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, that's okay, that's pretty much it for this video. I'll make a shorter version explaining these pairs again. The pretty much the pairs are GBP AED, USD JPY, and GBP CHF. But I'm also paying attention to some few pairs here, which I'll cover in the shorter version of this video. Right, so that's pretty much it. Subscribe to the channel, guys. It's absolutely free, and I'll see you on the shorter version of the weekly setups.